Welcome, ladies. I am Coach Steph, and I'm a registered dietitian, personal trainer, mindset transformation coach. We're going to be talking about how to create habits that stick. So, I want to be able to help you to not only make healthy habits, which we talk about how to create, how to start, how to set goals in this past few lives that I did. So, if you missed those in the events tab, out. But today we're going to be talking about specifically habits. Like, how do you create a habit and how do you get it to stick long term? So, I'm just going to preface right now, I got company. And so, my kid and your company are loud. So, you might hear some screaming in the background, but the children are okay. So, as you come on, say hello. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Stacy, Doris, Marion. Welcome, ladies. When y'all come on, say hello. And if you watch the replay, hashtag replay, y'all let me know if the reception is good. Like on my end, I see myself kind of like uh, not stopping, but it's like the picture is weird. So y'all let me know if it's working good. Hey, Lakeisha. So I posted in the group. If you're watching on Facebook, what are your questions about healthy habits? So as I go along, if you have any questions about healthy habits and how to maintain those, I want you to put those in the chat as we go along. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a registered dietitian, a personal trainer, and a mindset transformation coach. And so a lot of what I do as far as like coaching for weight loss or for really anything, PCOS, diabetes, etc., is very geared towards like every change that you want to make starts in your mind, and how you can coach your own brain and change how you think in order to create the result that we want. Because so many times we skip that part. It's like we skip the part of you actually thinking about it, making intentions, coming back to those intentions, coming back to those, your why, your motivation. And then we wonder why we can't make it stick, right? So let me check. Okay, reception is good. Hello. It's dragging a little bit, but it's catching up. It keeps freezing. So for some of you, it's not doing as well. And for some of y'all, it's okay. So hopefully as I go along, hopefully the replay will be fine. But have some, like a notebook. I always have to give y'all tangible, actionable things. So I've got some good tips. I'm really trying to keep these to 30 minutes because I can talk, just have too much to say. So I'm trying not to go to an hour. So I'm going to make sure that we get right into it. So hello, Annette. Hi, Andrea. Andrea. I call you I call you both. All right. So first things first, when you talk about your habits, you have to understand why. Like everything that you do is going to come back to, why are you doing it? Why does it matter? Why do you care to do that, right? So why does it matter, instead of sleeping in, that you go work out, right? You have to understand that and know that. So I know that one of the questions that was in the chat was, how do you keep going when you feel like you're not motivated? So that's a whole thing in and of itself. If y'all are watching and you have not already, if you're on Facebook, you can go to the link that's in my description. And I have a 5-day mini series on motivation and how to create motivation, because motivation is not a feeling, right? Motivation really is just you being able to get your energy behind taking some action, no matter how small that action is. So if you haven't signed up for that already, that's a free 5-day mini series. You actually get access to me in there is the same coaching app that my clients use. And so you'll go through that and you kind of understand a little bit how to tap into your motivation. But I'm not going to go too deep into that today, but you have to know your why. You have to understand why this is really deeply important to you. So someone mentioned in the chat about diabetes, right? So every time, Marion, when you think about skipping your workout or eating McDonald's again, or, you know, whatever your self-sabotaging habit is, go back to this, right? Go back to, I don't want to have diabetes, right? That's a painful why. You want to feel safe in your body and you don't want to have to, stick yourself with insulin every day. You don't want to have to rely on medication in order for you to live, right? So when you start thinking about that, you're like, hey, this is not what I want, then you can definitely, more often than not, it's not about perfection, but you can more often than not continue or to prioritize those healthy habits. Okay. So knowing your why. I'm not going to get into it, but that's an important part. Motivation is not a feeling. So let me just reiterate that. Motivation is not a feeling. Neither is consistency, y'all. Right? Consistency also is not a feeling, it is a choice. So, number one is, are you taking ownership of the fact that you can make a choice? Sometimes we want to do stuff, y'all, and we're not even setting the intention. We're just saying, oh, yeah, at some point, man, yeah, I'm going to start working out. Yeah, at some point, I really want to start meal prepping again. At some point, that's never on the calendar. You literally setting an intention, especially if you write that intention down, you're way more likely to continue. So don't also just write it down one time. If you've heard me speak before, you know that it's really important once a week to do a check-in with yourself. What went well last week? What did not go well? And plan for your upcoming week. So when you're in that planning phase, write down what your intentions are for the week. Take those intentions, put it on your planner, put it on your calendar. That alone, y'all, most of us just are not planning. We're not sitting down and thinking about what we want to create and how we're going to create it today. It could be that simple, right? It could be that simple. So setting your intention. So one of my favorite quotes is, don't be mad about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Don't be mad at the results that you didn't get from the work you did not do. Can I get an amen? Okay, you cannot be upset. You cannot think, oh, I'm a failure when you didn't put in the work, right? Like you did not put in the work to see the result. So sometimes when I have, when I coach people who are like upset about their results, or maybe they didn't create the results that they wanted, it's just like, okay, how many times did you show up for yourself, right? You can't expect to have the result that you want if you didn't put in the work to actually create that result. Okay. So don't be mad about the results that you didn't get from the work you didn't do. So number two. So number one is setting your intention and writing that intention down. Number two is setting up your environment for success. Another very forgotten part of all of this is, if I want to drink more water, I want to make drinking water very convenient, very easy, and very simple for me to do more often. Right? I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to have to like drive to the store. Like I need it right here if I want to drink more water, right? So then you have to think, how can I make this habit more simple, more accessible, more convenient for me to do more often? So take each habit that you want to create, right, that you want to do, and ask yourself, how could I make this more convenient to do? So if it's water, I want to have my water out and available for me so that it's easily accessible. If it's working out more often, I want to pick out my workout clothes and keep them in my car. Or maybe I'll sleep in my workout clothes if I'm going to work out early in the morning. Um, you may want to order your groceries instead of having to drive to the store, go in and shop, drive back, right? How can I make this super duper simple? So, whatever habit that you know is going to be impactful, you need to write that down. And here's another thing. This is what I didn't even include this is like, how do you know which habits to pick? Right? Like, how do you even know which habits to start with? My recommendation is to pick no more than 3, more typically like 1 or 2, because you don't doing less, you can actually focus on more. You can actually get more done when you're not focused on a million different things. So pick habits that are going to be impactful to your journey, right? They're going to make a difference in your journey. And then track those. So that's tip number 3. So you can track your habits simply by, there's apps that you can use to track your habits that are free. You can write it down on a habit tracker where you just kind of circle in a bubble every time you do a workout or every time you, eat a vegetable or whatever habit that you're trying to create. Tracking those habits is going to bring to your awareness what you're doing and what you're not doing. That way, if you're not seeing the result that you want, you can go back and say, oh, well, yeah, the last 2 weeks, I only did a workout twice. Or the last 2 weeks, oh, yeah, I didn't, eat my meal prep. I had too many treat meals that week, right? So you can go back when you track and say, oh, okay, here's the problem. When you don't track, ladies, you have no idea what worked and what didn't work. So let's say you don't track, you're 3 weeks into starting something and you have no data to go back and look and say, oh, okay, I wasn't very consistent this week. So that might be why my results aren't what I want. You have no way to track. So being able to track your habits is helpful. And it also keeps you mentally focused on process goals. So many of us are so worried about the outcome goal, and it's so overwhelming because we pick like a million different things to change in our lifestyle and we can't keep up with it. So we have to be hyper focused on the habit goals, on the process goals that are going to help you get to the outcome. That's going to be a lot more beneficial. Okay, so set your intention and write it down. Track your habits and set up your environment for success. Okay, so another one of my favorite habit hacks is what's called habit stacking. So it's called habit stacking. This is where when you already have a well-established habit, like say you're a drinker and you don't have to think about it. You don't need a reminder to go get your coffee. Like this is what you do in the morning. You want to pair a new habit that you want to start. So let's say you want to start doing gratitude every day. You can pair your habit of doing gratitude with your coffee habit. So then every time you go and get coffee, that's a reminder to do your gratitude. So at first you may have to maybe set a reminder like on your phone around the same time that you typically get coffee. But over time, you'll associate getting coffee with doing your gratitude. Right? So another example might be Um, Whenever, like, say, if you're working and you work primarily at a desk and you want to start drinking water, right? And so, or drinking more water. So you might want to start a habit of every time I get a phone call, right? Or every time I get an email, right? Or every time I get up to take a break, I'm going to take a sip of water, right? So does that make sense? Y'all let me know if this is making sense. You want to tag a new habit on to a habit that you already have so that that habit becomes, or the new habit gets tied to a habit that's already well established. Convenience is smart. I did better with bottles. I have 2 planners. This is good. How do you overcome all or nothing thinking, Tamika? Super excited. Tamika is going to be joining me on in my 12-week program. So here's the thing, Tamika. You have to learn, and I'm going to teach you how to be your own coach. The voice that's in your head, you do not have to accept the thought that came. And so this is something that I teach my clients of, like, yeah, sure, you had this thought come up that, if I don't have time to do my workout, my whole workout, I won't do any of it. It's no use. There's no point in doing a little bit of my workout versus all of it. Or I ate a cheesecake off my diet, so now I might as well start on Monday because I ruined everything, right? That thought can come up, but you don't have to listen to that thought. Like, that thought isn't true. It's not fact. Being able to catch your thought in the moment and be like, oh, I see that thought. That's the self-sabotaging thought that throws me off all the time. I'm actually going to choose a different thought. It's called intentional thought creation, that is going to help me get the result that I want. So once you are able to catch it in the moment, you can make different choices. And of course, we'll talk more about that. I have to stop emotional eating. Yeah, April, if you haven't already, it might have been a while, but I did a live about emotional eating and my framework on how to stop emotional eating. So if you can try to find that in the events tab in the group. I can't get the 3 together at the same time. Exercise, meal prepping, and staying focused. Yes. So, Nisi, what if that's normal, right? What if you didn't find that to be a problem and you just went with it? Right? Like, what if you said, okay, this is going to be my workout's going to be my primary focus, and set simple goals for your nutrition, and don't make it a problem that is not perfect. It kind of goes back to the all or nothing thinking of feeling like I have to do all of these together or else I'm not going to do any of them, right? So it's kind of still the all or nothing thinking, being able to catch those thoughts in your mind as they happen. But you have to practice doing that, y'all. And this is why I teach my clients to have a power hour. It's not a whole hour, just 10 minutes of you creating thoughts and getting your brain used to creating certain thoughts that are actually going to help you create the result that you want, because we have so many unintentional thoughts and we just go with it, right? So we talked about knowing your why, tracking your habits, setting your environment up for success, habit stacking. And then, of course, you guys, you can set reminders. Like, we use our phone for everything. Set a reminder. So your 1 or 2 habits that you're working on this week, set a reminder in your phone, drink water, right? Set a reminder in your phone to practice gratitude. Set a reminder in your phone, okay, 3:00, my workout's coming. Let me mentally prepare. Let me visualize myself doing it, right? Visualization is a huge, huge key. Start visualizing yourself. That's another tip. I didn't even put that in here. But it can also go with intentional thought creation. So intentional thought creation is you practicing thinking the thoughts that you need to think to increase your self-concept and who you are and how you handle challenges, right? And so y'all can hear my son. So intentional thought creation is very important. So you can kind of tag that along with visualization and seeing yourself doing the habit that you want to create. So I don't even know what number I'm on, but after that, micro steps. So I want you to create some goals that are micro habits, right? So maybe you can't get the whole workout in, but you can go for a walk for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. Start with the smallest thing that you can do that's going to make a difference, and then gradually start to expand that a little bit, right? So a lot of times, the reason why we fail is not because we're not trying. It's not because, we don't know what to do, but it's because we pick this big old massive goal and it's too much for us to do consistently. Break down your goal and decide to do the smallest thing consistently. Okay. So creating those micro steps. And then the next one I have is writing your intention down, which I already covered. Like, that's super important. And so ladies, there's many other tips. I actually had to pare this down because I told you I only wanted to be on here for 30 minutes, but there's a few books that have been really, really helpful. I absolutely love Badass Habits by Jen Cisnero. If you have not read, I think her first book was like You Are Badass, which was amazing. But there's also Badass Habits. Also a book called Atomic Habits, that if you know that your habits are what is keeping you from making the goal that you want, you need to dig in, read those books, listen to mindset podcasts. I put a note in the group recently, and a lot of people didn't even know that there were mindset podcasts or weight loss podcasts, right? You can find those on things like Spotify or Podbean, or if you're an iPhone user, I'm sure they have some on your Apple store. I don't know. I'm not an iPhone person. But start training your mind. So on your way to work, or just as you're getting ready for work at home, put on a podcast that helps to retrain your subconscious mind, right? All of those things are super duper important. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of go through the chat and make sure, see if I have any questions or anything. Thank you, Ebony. Hi to Wanda, Tamika. Thank you, Kayla. Let's see. I'm gonna start sleeping in my workout clothes. Okay, yeah. It's just it's so crazy how it just makes it like that much simpler. You don't have to figure out what to wear in the morning and all that. You just get up and go work out, right? Brush your teeth, go work out. Knowing ahead of time like what you're gonna do. Like if you're going to the gym, either if you have your app or you have your workout written down, knowing what you're gonna do when you get there, it helps to actually have a more intense and better workout too when you get there. You must always be advantageous. That's what's one goal of mine. I invested in a water bottle. Yep. Getting those water bottles. I have my little Yeti and I love it because it keeps my water cold. So for some of y'all that are struggling with water, some people like cold water, some people like room temperature water. Some of my clients really find just drinking out of a straw helps. So whatever works for you, but you got to know what works for you, and then actually do it. Like you have to actually put forth the effort to make the change, right? Thank you, Jessica. Debbie, Lakeisha, makes perfect sense. I'm gonna put mine on my bed and hope that don't fall on the floor. Some of us get way more emails than others. This is helpful. Thank you. You're welcome, Tamika. Is your perfect skin directly correlated with eating habits? Let me tell you something about this skin. First of all, my skin is not perfect. It is not perfect. But I will tell you this. If y'all have not gotten the Fenty Skin, I can't use it all the time. This is what I just recently learned. This is like sidebar about my skin. So I can't use it all the time. So I have to use it maybe like once or twice a week. But mostly my skin just likes for me to leave it alone. But the moisturizer in the Fenty Skin and the fat water is like amazing. So sidebar on that one. But yeah, thank you. So I'm gonna prepare my lemon water right before. I love that. So then your night routine. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, my son is getting on my wait 1 second. Hey, I'm on the line. Okay, sorry, y'all. That was getting on my nerves. So preparing the night before, like your night routine is so important to your next day. I'm so glad you brought that up, Daphne, because I will put that on my notes. Your night routine and planning and making your intention the night before for the next day. Super important. So I love that. The authors of those books again. So Atomic Habits, I'm just going to look it up. Atomic Habits. It's by James Clear. Atomic Habits is by James Clear. Very, very popular book for habits. Now, I typically use Audible. So for some of you that are like, oh, I can't get through a book, that was me. Even though I did prefer to read the book, I have listened to way more books than I have read a book. So it might take you a little bit to get acclimated to listening because, your mind can wander, but you'll get used to it. That's again a habit, right? Like if you're not used to it, it's going to be a little bit difficult at first, but being able to listen to them and get the information and then like, oh, if I hear something really good, I'll put it in my notes on my phone. So Atomic Habits is by James Clear, and it's Badass Habits by Jen Cisnero. Okay, so those were the two authors, but there's others too that are really good. I think Mel Robbins has one that is High Five Habits. Yeah, Mel Robbins High Five Habits. Okay, so let me go back. Mindset change is awesome. Drinking out of a straw definitely helps. All right, let me make sure I got all the comments, y'all. I like saying that. James Clear. Yeah, I know Andrea, because you be on it. You be posting some really, really good stuff. What I was doing when I was working was taking my workout clothes to work and have each outfit hanging on a hanger on the back of my office door at work, and I would change before I left to work. Boom. Do you see how we have the power to troubleshoot, and sometimes we just don't. Like literally, we just don't think about it. We're just like, oh well, I keep missing my workouts, but we don't actually sit down and say, okay, what's going to make this easier for me to do? How can I make this more convenient for me to do? How can I make a micro step? How can I set my intention, right? Consistency is about ditching the perfection. Consistency is about making decisions, is about troubleshooting, right? Consistency is not a feeling. We typically don't check in with ourselves enough, but oddly, when it's time to go work out, we're checking in to see how we feel, right? And then we have this negotiation with ourselves, like, do I have enough time? Do I really want to? Do I want to go in the morning? Right? But any other time we won't check in with ourselves. We'll totally ignore our feelings. But when it comes to work out, all of a sudden we like checking with ourselves and we're like, do I really want to? Like, do I? Right? It's a decision. Micro steps, right? Okay. So I'm just checking any more comments. Oh, you know what else too? Okay. So Manta said, how do I even start? How do you start with an audit? I think I talked about this on my last live. You start with an audit of what are you already doing? What's working in your health journey? What's not working? Write that down. I cannot tell you how important it is for you to write stuff down, y'all. It's simple, but people won't do it. Get a pencil and a piece of paper and write down what is working, what is not working. So take the column that's not working and start to troubleshoot. I'm not getting in my workouts. Why? Maybe it's my time. Maybe it's my energy level. Start to look at what you're already doing and troubleshoot. Pick 2 things to practice next week. That's all you have to know. You don't have to know every single step in the process. All you have to know is this isn't working. I'm going to pick these 2 habits and troubleshoot, and I'm going to practice that next week, and that's it. Okay, so the next question is, are healthier foods always more expensive? I feel like all the food right now is getting a little expensive, but I would definitely say that planning is key. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on quote unquote healthy food, you need to plan out your food, utilize leftovers, and make sure that you're using your more perishable foods earlier in the week. So if you go shopping on Sundays, you want to use your more perishable vegetables and fruit earlier in the week instead of trying to save them till Friday, right? If you're buying salmon or strawberries or avocado sometimes, you want to make sure you're using that kind of stuff in the beginning of the week. I'm not much of a bargain shopper, period. I'm not very frugal, but I will say that planning will help you save money. And then think about it long term, because is it really cheaper for you if you're, having medical bills because you're not taking care of yourself? And then what's more important, being able to, it's more important that we buy and eat in a way that serves our body, and maybe look at other stuff to cut out, right? There's so many, like I said, troubleshooting, cut out some other stuff, but being able to nourish your body well. Of course you can use coupons, all those types of things, but I think that planning will help you reduce your spending, not eating out and actually eating what you plan to eat. And, frozen fruits and vegetables too work, right? They're not as expensive as some of the other things. So I think in the long run, it's going to save you more money to not be sick with diabetes or whatever, have to buy insulin shots and medication. It will be more advantageous for you to take care of your body now. So Nisi, how do you stay on track once you get started? So several of the things that I already mentioned: setting your intention, writing it down, habit stacking. Let me go back to my list. Setting reminders, doing some intentional thought creation, doing some visualization, see yourself doing it. When you catch yourself in the resistance of oh, it's time to go work out, but I don't want to, don't ignore that. Call it out and say, oh, okay, I'm feeling some resistance. Why am I feeling resistance, right? Sit with your feelings. How can I make this step even smaller? I'm gonna do a micro step, and then I'm gonna do another micro step. And before you know it, you'll have it done. Track your habits, right? That's another way for you to continue. Track your habits. And then where to start. I think I answered that already. Okay. Cleopatra, this is great information. I'm glad that it is helpful. I've been struggling with writing things down, started a fitness journaling today. Yes, one of my clients actually just bought a fitness journal. I think it's so important because every change, ladies, that you want to make is going to start right here. You got to see yourself doing it. You got to understand why this is important, why it's more important than other things, and why saying no to these other things, even sometimes when it's something about your kids, why you going to go do this workout makes you a better mom, right? Makes you a better employee, makes you a better wife. You taking care of yourself makes you show up better in every other area of your life. and be like bold in that. Like there's no apologizing for me taking care of me, like setting those boundaries. Most of what I talk about in my program is setting boundaries, like ditching the negative self-talk, understanding how to coach your own brain. Like it's all mental. Once you get that down, the nutrition and the fitness will be easy, right? Yes, keeping a log helps. When it comes to clean eating and meal preps, I find it difficult to make a choice of counting calories versus carbs, but both are important. Which one is more important? I don't want to be defeating the purpose. I'm an emotional eater and need to get a grip on this. So, Nita, if you haven't already, I did a live. It might be a while back, but to teach you my framework on emotional eating. But to answer the first part of your question, both can work, right? Like counting calories and counting carbs aren't really the same thing, really, meaning like you can count calories or you can count macros. It's just like the difference between saying 2 plus 2 equals 4 and 3 plus 1 equals 4, right? It literally is the same thing, just a different method of doing the same thing. So it doesn't matter, to answer your question. Like it doesn't matter which way is better. My Fitness Pal, I also have a step-by-step tutorial in the events tab, how to like set up your MyFitnessPal so that it will tell you how many macros you need. So the most important thing is that your portions, that you're consistent, that you're planning your meals out, right? How you get to your calorie goal, either by counting calories or by macros, it's the same thing. So it doesn't matter. But the emotional eating comes in when you've planned everything, but then you eat emotionally and then you're off the plan, right? So definitely check out that training on emotional eating and MyFitnessPal. My challenge is being okay with less is more when I'm trying to establish consistency. I know it's like the opposite. It's like, okay, if you want to get more results, you need to do less. But it really is true. If you really have like 5 to 6 things to do every single day, you probably won't get but like 1 or 2 done. But if your brain says, oh, that's easy, I can do that. I can do that 1 or 2 things every day, you'll actually get more done. You'll see a lot more results. Do you have notes? I just logged on. The replay will be available. All right, let's see. Any questions on this side? Patricia, such great tips. I was driving and listening. I'll go back and listen. Take notes and take action. You're welcome. Reframing when I get negative. Yes, Chancy. So first of all, you're killing it in the reboot. And so you must be doing a really good job at reframing and coaching yourself in the moment. So I'm super duper excited and excited for you to get started in the program. Hey, Natisha. Healthy eating is less expensive. All the food is expensive. Yeah, Natisha, I'm sure you probably could help us out. Like I don't know, I'm not that frugal. I be buying a whole bunch of stuff and don't even look at the price, but that's my own issues. I'm a health coach, definitely not a money coach. Or do they go hand in hand? So is exercise more important than eating healthy? I'm really struggling because of my knee. Well, I mean, overall, nutrition is more important. Nutrition is the most important. And then, your mindset. First of all, your mindset, then your nutrition, then your exercise. But a lot of people find the exercise to be a little bit easier just in terms of like doing it. But when you are suffering with an injury, really, really like reframe that and think, okay, so I can't be as active as I would like to. Now I get to really dig into my mindset. Now I get to really dig into making sure my nutrition is on point, right? So you don't have to think of it as like a bad thing if you reframe that. Yeah. You're welcome. What helps with decreasing stomach fat? So, Doris, I have a whole training on decreasing belly fat. I know y'all love to talk about that one. Check it out in the events tab in the group. It's called like how to get a flat tummy or something like that. Check that out. But I will tell you, it takes just a lot of consistency, decreasing your sugar, eating more veggies, eating more protein, lifting more heavy weights, progressively heavier. But check out that training if you want more details about that. So, Shamika, I do have a 12-week program that's nutrition and mindset. So, like I said before, I'm a registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. So, you get access to my app. So, if y'all want to download the app and check it out, you can check the description. So, I have an app where right now there's a free 5-day mini series you can do on motivation, and I'll teach you my motivation strategy. It's the same coaching app that my clients use. So that app you'll have access to for 5 days, or the mini series if you click on the description. But with my clients, I have a 12-week program where we coach one-on-one nutrition and mindset, and we really, really dig in to the background of like why you have been struggling with taking action or creating the results that you want. So I think, trying to think, if you go to my profile, there's a link there. If you want to apply for the coaching, there's a link there that you can do that. What are some good, healthy feeling snacks to hold you over during mealtime? So I think this is the last question I'm gonna get to because it's already 6:45. So healthy snacks. Here's my philosophy on snacks. We love carbs, right? And we can eat carbs, but we always want to pair it with a protein and or a healthy fat. So like if you're going to eat an apple, pair it with some cheese or pair it with some nuts. Don't just sit down and eat an apple. What matters most is just the portion size. So think of whole foods, fruits, baby carrots, right? Any kind of fruit, banana, whatever, but always just pair it with some protein like cheese, healthy fat like nuts. You could have some olives, nut butters, things like that. I may also have, I think it was a long time ago I did some healthy snack information, but I may have a PDF. I can't remember. If y'all want that, let me know about about the healthy snacks. All right, y'all. So I am done for the night. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I'm done for the night. Thank y'all for watching. And I will be back on here. Oh, y'all. So tomorrow at noon, if I don't have to cancel, tomorrow at noon, I'm coming on to teach y'all about affirmations, like how to create powerful affirmations. So make sure you go to the events tab and RSVP for that. In my coaching group, in my fitness group, which Black Women Workout, everyone thinks this is my group. It's not. This is not my group. I'm just a guest expert to help moderate the group. But I think my group is called Weight Loss Plus Mindset with Coach Steph. I'm doing a 7-day affirmations challenge. And so if you're interested in that, again, go to my profile, check out the link, and you can get the link to come to my group. I'm doing a 7-day affirmation challenge. And so someone asked a question, how do you write affirmations? Like, I feel disconnected, right? So I'm like, oh, I can do a training because I have a framework on how to create powerful affirmations in order for you to up-level your thinking and be able to create the results that you want. So if you're interested in that, again, go to my profile, click on the Linktree link, and one of those options will be coming to the group and getting in on the 7-day affirmation challenge. But I think I'm going to go live in both of the groups in order to share with you how to create those affirmations. Next week, y'all, I get so excited. Okay, so next week I have a manifestation coach coming on to talk about more about like your autonomy and your power and how to create the things that you want in your life. So I'm super excited about that. Y'all stay tuned. And I'm gonna hop off of here. So Y'all have a good night. And I'm going to end all of these tabs. So thanks for watching, ladies. If you have any other questions or anything, put a comment or DM me. Good night. Good night, ladies.